Namaskar. How can we prevent burnout? This is like a really important question a lot of people are facing because of the extra stress that's going on in our world. And well, we can decide to live our lives like grass or like trees. When we're living our life like grass, if you think about early spring, there's a lot of rain and the whole, all the lawns, all the fields have that really deliciously fresh spring green. But as the summer sets in and the rains dry up, immediately when there's not enough rain, grass is turning yellow. On the other hand, you come here into the forest, just now I was walking through a field to get here actually, and it was just such a huge contrast. You're walking through this field, sun's beating down, feels really intolerably hot and uncomfortable, and everything's dry and yellow, and you enter the forest and it's lush and it's green and it's cool. This is a whole nother microclimate. And this is because the trees don't depend only on the rain for their nourishment. They don't depend only on the external environment. They actually generate their own microclimate by sending their roots deep into the earth and going into the source of water underground. And they draw the water up through their roots to the surface. So they actually bring more moisture into the soil and into the whole environment and make it more available for other plants around them as well. So you see this, like the soil of the forest, even in the middle of the dry, hot summer, it's still, got some humidity to it. It's still moist. And this is because of the roots of the trees. So we can live like grass, or we can live like trees. We can live dependent on the external circumstances, whether they're going favorably or not, and if they're not, we dry up, we get depressed, we get angry, we get upset, with the external world. And when things are going well, fresh, green, happy, it makes your life unstable and dependent on the external. Meditation's a process where you're systematically digging your roots deep. You're learning how to send those roots to find the universal source of water. I find it actually quite incredible, that if you just dig deep enough into the earth, you're always going to find that source of water. It's like a universal, underground layer or like underground rivers of water that are there. Similarly, like supreme consciousness, it's actually connecting all of us. We all can tap into it. We each have to dig our own well to find it, but either we're depending on water from the others, from the external just chance, like whether things are going favorably or unfavorably, or for others to feed us inspiration from the outside, or we ourselves can create our own microclimate. Like how the forest creates its own cool microclimate even in the midst of a dry, hot summer. You also can create a nourishing environment for yourself and for others around you when you're tapping into that divine source. That gives you a base to life. Otherwise, your life, it can be just disrupted by an ordinary storm. The trees have so much resilience when there's a storm because they've got that, when they're drawing the water up, it makes their branches, they're full of sap. When the tree is healthy and alive, then its branches are flexible. They bend. If they dry out, when they die, then they're brittle and they break off if there's a strong wind. But otherwise, like when the winds come, the tree just moves with the wind. And that's resiliency. That's resiliency. So spirituality as a base for life gives you that type of resiliency. It gives you that type of source that is perennial. When you draw water out of a well and you put it into a bucket, and then if you're giving it out, drinking from it, the bucket's going to end pretty quickly. If you're taking it directly from the well, or you have a pump like that's making a fountain, then you can keep drinking from it and keep drinking from it and keep drinking from it. And the well just replenishes itself. As you take out the water, it replenishes itself. More water comes in. So it doesn't run out. Similarly, if you're just giving energy from yourself, from your limited feeling of yourself, and there's all that ego I feeling involved, then it runs out pretty quickly. And you start to feel fatigue, you start to feel a bit of resentment about other people taking too much from you, and you run out. But if you're connecting to that divine source, then as you give, there is more to give. It is flowing through you, and it's protecting you from burning out like this. If you can develop that kind of way of being in the world, of being aware that that source isn't limited, and not being afraid to give unconditionally, not being afraid to just let it flow through you, and not being attached to it like with ego, but just letting it flow. And that gives that kind of really stronger resiliency in the face of the storms. It gives, it creates your own microclimate, and allows, you to be able to have something that nourishes the environment around you and yourself as well at the same time, because that water flowing through you, it's like how it makes the branches of the trees flexible, how it's make them full of life. So meditation is systematic growing of roots. Systematically, directing your mind inward to not depend like grass just on the environment around you, but to be able to draw up that power, that water, that life, that source of energy, love into your being, and let it flow, let it flow through you. And I encourage you then to, create that base for your life. Construct it step by step. If you haven't done it already, take the basic course of meditation so that you really can, in that systematic way, just in a few lessons, you will already have all the tools that you need to integrate it into your daily life. Because, the things that lead to burnout are small things that happen every day. It's not just one or two dramatic events. It's a gradual accumulation of draining of energy and draining things and overdoing things, not living in balance. Many, many factors can go there. Prevention, has to be similar. It has to be something that you're doing regularly, something that is small little thing that you're doing all the time. So all the time, when those roots are going and searching for that water and drawing it up, then your being is resilient, is fresh, is alive, and you are not getting burned out. But you have to keep working at it. And that spirituality gives a positive outlook, gives strength and hope and resiliency to go through all kinds of circumstances. Doesn't mean, that the trees also aren't affected by drought. They also get affected eventually. They also have their seasons, but relatively to the grass, it takes a lot more, to dry up a tree than it does to dry up the grass. And yeah, it doesn't make us immune to suffering and pain and things like this. Still, even, you're practicing meditation and spirituality, you're going to face ups and downs of life. But you have that ability to then tap into that kind of healing, regenerative water that doesn't depend on the external, that you're drawing up through your spiritual practice into your life. So I wish for you also to be able to protect yourself, but also, just increase your resiliency and your happiness, and finding that perennial source of inspiration from within. You can find more in the description below, and I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you. Namaskar.